Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday to you if you are in the States. Maybe you're elsewhere. Happy Monday to you if so. Hope all is fantastic. I am Reverend Sean Robert Grant, and welcome to the Ultimate Manifestation Podcast. Ready to rock and roll here and continue with money manifestation, speaking money into your existence, one of my absolute favorite topics to discuss. But before we get into that, guys, thank you for all of your support, all of the individuals across the world, from Thailand to London, England, to the United States, to Canada, to so many different places. You guys are not only chiming in, but downloading and listening to this podcast. So thank you very much. Appreciate you guys so much. If you have any feedback, more importantly, any comments, anything I can help you with, please, by all means, write to me at shaung04@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Happy to, very much so. But all in all, thank you. Continue, guys. It's amazing. We will do our best to continue blessing you with information that can transform your life. And we're hopeful that throughout that process, you're able to share it with everyone that you not necessarily come into contact with, but everyone that you know who can benefit from it. And so we're just very happy to have that chance to do so. So let's get into today's topic. Once again, money manifestation. We've been on this for a bit, speaking money into your existence. Okay. Now, we all have different backgrounds. We all grow up in different households, and we all adopt different money beliefs. Okay. Now, what I am going to proceed in saying as it relates to this podcast may or may not align with you. Whatever the case, it's totally fine. You have the option to listen, to take heed to it, to find a way to believe it if you don't believe it already. Or you can say, you know what, that's not true. I'm not ready to hear that. I'm not listening to it. Either way, it works, because ultimately I will teach you this. If I teach you nothing else, you have to listen to your own heart. You have to align with what your heart tells you to do. As a divine messenger, I'm not here to force you into believing or having faith in anything other than what your heart calls to. Whatever I deliver to you today is my truth, and I'm hopeful that my truth will help you to find your truth. And the beauty is if you're listening, our truth likely align in a way that what I'm going to say is going to transform your life. And that makes me super excited. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because a lot of times as a teacher, as an intuitive supporter, you have to kind of stray the line of being someone that tells somebody what to do, and then being someone that offers the wisdom, the knowledge, the insight, and the understanding, and allows people to make their own choices. Because what is completely guaranteed in this life for everyone is free will. And you got to use that to your best ability. And I'm here to help you in any way that I can. So with that being said, speaking money into existence. Okay. Now, as we talked about, depending on where you grew up or how you grew up, you may have grown up around people that believe money is something that you need to work hard for. Money is something that you need to put in the time and the effort and the ability to have it flow into your life in a way that is conducive to you making enough of it to live the life that you choose. Well, I'm going to tell you, in my experience, in my detailed, personal, spiritual experience, that is not always the case. But I will say this: unless you can get to the point where you believe that you can manifest money according to vibration, according to thought, according to feeling, as opposed to according to physical hard work, putting in a lot of time, working for somebody else or working for something else, what I'm going to tell you, you won't get. Okay. Because it's one of these things that becomes a higher consciousness within yourself. And then all of a sudden you see the light, and you say, oh my gosh, okay, I'm vibrating on this frequency. I don't need to do that anymore. All right. So I want to be more specific about this, and I'm going to tell you in my own experience how this works. So I grew up in South Louisiana. I am a child of the baby boomer generation. And if your parents are baby boomers, you know that a lot of them were children or possibly toddlers just being born, young, not young adults, but, adolescent around that time, right after the Great Depression, because a lot of their parents were teenagers in their 20s and stuff like that when the Great Depression happened. So what that caused, and this is just, what I know of it, I feel like what that caused with a lot of people was the idea that money was scarce, the idea that there was no infinite supply within the universe. So when people begin to believe that and then pass that on from an ancestral place, the idea, especially in my family with my ancestors, was get a job, get whatever job you can, not even the best one, but just get whatever job you can. Make sure it's going to pay you twice a month. Make sure, it's got benefits, it's got this, it's got that. And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what type of job it is. As long as it pays, it's a good job. And that's what was instilled in me. And when I tell you I carried those beliefs up into probably my early 20s, when I really started to see things from my own soul's perspective, I followed that to the T. And I'm going to tell you, it was painful, extremely painful. And the reality is once I even figured it out, I still had to develop myself into being able to have a conscious awareness to where I could understand, right, that I could manifest money without having to do backbreaking, hard, physical work. So maybe you're in a space where you're like me, where you've had parents who believe sort of the same thing, and God bless them, because here's the thing, everybody's just doing the best that they can with what they have and what they know. And that's all my mom, that's all my dad, and that's all they were doing, same with yours. So, but the beauty about the universe is there's no limit to what type of consciousness you can access. There's no limit to what type of consciousness you can step into and move into a higher awareness. So by the time I started to figure that out, I was working a number of jobs. And the crazy thing was I had all these jobs and none of them were paying anything. As a matter of fact, it was almost like I was working for free, yet I was going to 4 different jobs. And I was just burnt out completely. And I detail this story in my book, The Money Cure, available on Amazon in Kindle and in paperback if you want to see more in depth to it. But for the sake of time, basically, it just got to a place where I went from that to getting a decent job, but almost all of a sudden feeling like every job I had when I was working with someone always had what I would call now an expiration date. Okay. There was always like, get in 5 or 6 months in. Oh my God, this is not fulfilling me. It's boring, whatever. It's not something that I feel like I can be doing for a long period of time. And so I just went from job to job doing that. And it wasn't until I would say I was about 35 or so, maybe around that time, that I wanted to go out on my own, right? And I just probably left the job that I've made the most money at, and that was as a fitness trainer, as a fitness professional, I like to call it, because we do more than train. And I walked away from it because emotionally it was toxic. And it was just so toxic that I just couldn't begin to fathom being there any longer. And so I went out on my own, and I'm like, okay, I've had a job pretty much most of my life, most of my adult life, and now I'm getting ready to do it on my own. How can I make this happen for me? And so what wound up unfolding is I started to speak into existence what it was that I wanted. And what I mean by speak into existence, here's the amazing thing about the universe. You can think success. You can feel success. You can know you're a success. But once you start speaking success, things start to happen. And the same with money, right? You can think you're abundant. You can feel you're abundant. You can know you're abundant. And stuff will happen. And I'm no doubt about it. Stuff will unfold. But when you speak your abundance, when you look at your accounts and you start speaking infinite abundance, infinite prosperity, right? Zero balance on your credit cards, infinite expansion and wealth and riches in your investments and all these things. You start speaking that with conviction and with passion. You start speaking that over your financial portfolio. Things are going to happen. And I'm telling you, I know from experience, because what winds up happening is you move yourself into a higher vibration, and that vibration you feel almost instantly. And so I want you to do something with me. I'm going to get back to that story here in just a bit. I want you to do something with me. If you have access to your account, I want you to pull it up, and you can do this now. You can do this later. And I just want you to speak into that account what you are believing God to do in your life, what you're believing the universe for, right? And so look, you may pull up your account. You may have thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. You may have hundreds of dollars in there. You may not even have that. But when you start speaking, right, with faith, as the Bible says, calling forth things out of the invisible, and you just start going after it, and it doesn't even matter what's in front of you. What matters is what you feel in your heart and what you know yourself to be. And you may have $200 in your account, but you feel that you are a millionaire and $1 million, multi-million dollars is coming your way. I want you to speak that. I want you to proclaim it. I want you to decree it. I want you to call it forth, right? And I don't know how that looks for you, but for me, it is a rite of passion to call forth and ignite the universal movement around what I know I deserve and what I feel blessed with, right? So I want you to do that, to pull up your account on your phone. And I want you to just take, let's say 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes at first, because it can be tiring. But I promise you, after you do that, even if you just say, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the money that I have right here, right now. I'm so blessed. I honor it. I claim it. It's mine. Yes, yes, yes. If you do something like that, that will make you feel so much richer and expansive in your own energy that I promise you, you will not stop doing that ever again. And then you'll begin to do it not only around your money, but around your relationships, around your career, around your mindset, your spirituality, your family. You'll start doing it around everything. You'll start getting into the habit where you're just calling things forth out of the invisible ethers into existence. Okay. Practice that exercise. Promise me you'll just do it one time, because I know if you do it once, you'll definitely do it again. And the reason being is because it changes reality. Physical reality is not fixed. It's not fixed. You could have $50 today and 50 grand tomorrow. No doubt about it. Or 50 grand today and 50 million tomorrow. It all depends on what we believe. And that's how we talked about where we're taking it a step further by doing something that may have been, a bit unthinkable, so to speak, to your parents and your grandparents. Okay. So getting back to my story, I remember I had just left and I had a private client, a private celebrity client. And the term that we had initially was up. And so I'm just like, okay. And then I'm going to be real with you. I got into this place where I started to worry some because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was no longer in this position where an individual was giving me a check every 2 weeks. You know, I had to make my own income. I had to manifest, I like to call it now, my own income at that time. And you know what? I remember being at the park. I was taking a walk and, just freed up so much time. And I'll never forget, I just started speaking. I was like, I have this many clients paying me richly and wonderfully and on time. They're showing up, giving their best, telling other people about the wonderful work that I'm doing as a fitness professional. I'm traveling over here to this part of the city to work out with people. I'm doing videos to show people my expertise. And I just started speaking it. And it lifted up my energy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this every day. So every morning, I would go to the Pacific Ocean. If you're familiar with Venice or Marina del Rey, there's the Washington Pier. If you were there during that time, you may have even seen me walking. But every morning, I would walk the ocean. I'd walk barefoot to ground myself in the ocean. And I would just call forth into existence. I would speak into existence what I wanted. I would speak money into my existence. And let me tell you, after a couple days of doing that, things just started to avalanche and just started to roll. And it was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then I realized I started speaking my money into existence, right? I started speaking it into existence. I didn't put out any ads. I didn't pay for any marketing. I can remember I got onto Facebook and I said, I've left this place. I'm now doing training on my own as Sean Grant Fitness. And next thing you know, people are DMing me. And I mean, ready and willing to work out and showing up to my place to work out. And it just went into overflow. And that celebrity client I told you about signed for $4,000 or something like that, for more, actually it might've been more than that, because I think I signed up the wife as well. So it was a lot more. And all of a sudden, in a week's time, I went from leaving my job, having the last paycheck, because I didn't work that much, be like $725, to literally experiencing a windfall of money in a week after I'd say about 2 weeks or so, because I think I went on vacation after I left. But it was a short period of time where this turned over. And I remember that. This is in 2016. I remember it so clearly and vividly, but I didn't remember what it was that had happened in order for all of that to come in the way that it did. And I just remember going to the beach every morning and just speaking it over my life. And I will tell you that I've never, at that point in time, worked a regular 9-to-5 job ever again. It was never a case of me doing that. And it's because when you, thinking is one thing, right? Thinking abundance is one thing. Let's put it this way. Thinking money is one thing. Feeling money is one thing, right? Knowing that there is money available is another thing. Speaking money into existence is a dynamic, universal act that does not fail. And I'm going to tell you what really revs it, tongue-tied, what really revs it up and what's really dynamic is when you believe and you have faith in what you're saying. And even if you don't, that's okay, because the more passion you put behind those words, the more you're going to believe it. You see, Tony Robbins used to, before he went on stage, do what he called incantations, where he would be pounding his chest, moving his body like almost like an athlete, like a football player getting ready to go out of the tunnel, because he knew if he could change his physical state, it would change his emotional state. And you change your emotional state, it will change your mental state. And if you change your mental state, you're no doubt changing what you're able to manifest without a shadow of a doubt. You're putting yourself in a position to manifest some amazing, powerful things that were once believed to be unimaginable. But the fact of the matter is, you were just at a different frequency. You take yourself up to that new frequency, right? And then you can start speaking things into existence, and more importantly, speaking money. So I say all that to say, where are you right now financially? And does it feel like it hadn't been working out? Does it feel like there's more stress around money than everything else? Because I'm going to tell you, I'll be honest with you, for the longest time, every area of my life thrived. And I mean, it was easy and effortless. And I was a superstar in every single area of my life. And then it came to money, and then I just felt unsure. I felt concerned. I felt worried. I felt, why isn't this working? And when I discovered that, and I actually started to commit to it, because that's the big thing, right? I discovered it, it started working, and then I stopped for whatever reason. And then I realized, oh shit, I got to get back to this, right? But once I committed to it, it began to transform everything. And so if you're familiar with the scriptures, Proverbs 18:21 says, life and death are in the power of the tongue, right? There's another scripture that says you must call forth into existence from the unseen, from the invisible, which tells us right then and there, we have the creative power to do that. We can call forth what is not seen and make it seen. And all it takes is for you to use the power that is your voice to bring that to the forefront, to bring that full circle into your life and allow you to rise up and be the very best version of yourself. Man, let me tell you, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game. And the beauty is, you know this works. And I said it a couple of times, but I'll say it again. You know this works because your entire vibration changes when you do it. Your entire vibration changes when you do it. And that's the magic, is that you could be feeling sad, down, out of luck, right? Doesn't look like anything is going to appear. And then all of a sudden, bam, you start speaking money, speaking abundance, speaking, success, speaking love into your life. And then it begins to change subtly, but it changes in you first. So when I spoke earlier about you might not believe what I'm telling you, I encourage you to try it. Try it for yourself. But try it. Actually, you know what? Throw trying out the window. Give it 100%. Okay? Give it 100%. And do it for like a week. All right? If you can't commit to a week, do 3 days. Because sometimes it'll happen before you know it. Give it that time. 3 to 7 days. Preferably 7. And watch how it changes your life. Watch how stuff all of a sudden shifts. The once thought fixed reality is now shifting into something that we never thought we could see possible, is now becoming not just possible, but probable, and then actually happening. But the reality is, you got to believe. You got to have faith that you can trust your own word. You can trust what you speak. You see, and I was talking about this in prayer with my guides, and they were telling me, they said, you know why you can get a famous singer, and we can do, okay, who's the most famous singer? So you say Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or Usher, any one of those. And my guides were telling me, you know why they can sing and sell all these records and get all these people to come and see them? And they were alluding to the fact that it's because the voice They've been speaking, and then singing is just an expansive form of speaking their truth for so long that is so strong and so vibrant and so powerful that people stop to listen to it, and then they become magnetized, right? That is the ability that we all possess. And we don't have to be singers. We just have to speak it into existence. Now, if you want to sing, you can sing it. Because, I mean, it'll probably double off the energy that you're giving if you want to sing the truth of what you're expecting in your life. But I thought that was a great analogy because it makes so much sense. You sing songs and you express your voice for so long, for such a long period of time, passionately. All of a sudden, somebody starts to listen, right? And you know the difference between them and then, people who don't necessarily get to that level per se. The difference is the passion behind the voice, right? There was somewhere where it mentioned Usher and said when Usher was a kid, he sang like his life depended on it, right? He sang like his life depended on it. Imagine speaking this truth, speaking prosperity in your life like your life depended on it. Imagine speaking riches into your life like your life depended on it. Imagine speaking success in whatever area, love, soulmate, specific person into existence like your life depended on it. What do you think the result will be if that type of energy comes through, right? If you were just to say, I just gotta get this out of me. I gotta speak this out to the world. This is my truth. This is my life. I'm ready and I'm willing and I'm excited to do it. Imagine what the result of that will be, and then what the result of that will be. Let's say, boom, you listen to this podcast and you do this for an entire year, or you do it for 5 years, or you do it for 10 years. Imagine what's going to happen. I can't even imagine. But the beauty of it is, I don't want to spoil the surprise for you because you'd probably be shocked as well as to what shows up when that unfolds, because there's so much power, not just in your voice, but in sound, right? Isn't it amazing how music can just change our entire being? Well, guess what? Our voice has that same ability if we're willing to step into it and give it our all. Speak money over your life. There's no reason at all you should be experiencing any type of lack whatsoever, because you are an abundant being. You are a prosperous being. You have the expression of limitless supply within you, unlimited resources ready to manifest themselves, not just as money, but as every single thing that you can use and require to live this life to the very best. It lies in you. Now speak it, and speak it fervently. Right? And frequently, and allow your passion to come forth, and it will start transforming everything. Everything. No doubt about it. So I ask that if you started listening and you were a bit skeptical, I ask you to give this an opportunity. Once again, give it an opportunity. Or even if you can't give it an opportunity, think about it. Think about it. Say, what do I have to lose by speaking riches, wealth, and prosperity and joy into my life right now for 1 week? What do I have to lose if I start speaking success and fulfillment and the Midas touch? Everything I touch prospers. What do I have to lose? You got nothing to lose. As a matter of fact, you got everything to gain. And the beauty of it is, when you start doing this, what I find hilarious is people start just believing that you're living this charmed life. You're living like you're doing something that nobody else. I mean, in actuality, you are, but it's so simple, it's so easy, right? But people just start to wonder, like, well wow, how are you manifesting this? How is this different? How is this working like this? Because the reality is, God made things simple for us to grasp and to apply and to understand and to share, which is why I'm here right now. But I can promise you that this is something that if you listen to no more podcasts, no more episodes, this would be the episode that really could implement something fantastic into your life and leave an indelible impression if you're willing to put it into practice. And I can feel in my heart, I know you are. I know a lot of you are and will do this if you're not doing it already, because what do we have to lose? And not just that, it changes everything. It changes everything. I'll tell you this and then I'm going to let you go. The biggest joy in life is the ability to grow and to expand into new territory, so to speak, not just on the outside, but in the inner life. And the joy that comes from that is really incomparable, right? It's great to see stuff outside unfold and to experience those manifestations and stuff. And we all love that. But the real joy comes from how you expand within. And I'm going to tell you, you can expand like nobody's business when you call forth, okay? When you call forth the truth and the understanding and the excitement of speaking success, wealth, prosperity, fulfillment, joy, abundance, love over your life. One of the greatest joys ever, in my opinion. So give that a shot. Don't look back. As we said, you got nothing to lose. It transformed my life. I know it will transform yours. And I'm here to help you in any way that I can. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure as always. Once again, you have any comments, any questions about anything, please write to us at shaung04@gmail.com. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Commit. 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, a month, whatever it is. But just know whatever you put in is what you'll get out. And I promise you'll get a lot out if you take this step with me. So enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you are. Thanks again for sharing as well. Please share this podcast with anybody who can benefit from it. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Take care.